George, you were just in Sudan, South Sudan. Describe the situation as you saw it. You described it before the Senate hearing as a humanitarian disaster. Tell us a little bit about what you saw.
It was interesting. Once we got up into the Nuba Mountains, the first thing you feel is the sort of the strangulation of what's going on, which is there is no humanitarian aid available to get there to most of the places we were going. There were dead bodies on the side of the road from fighting. What you see is people, burned villages, people running from their villages and hiding in the caves and rocks underneath because it's the only place safe from the Antonov bombing that is daily, rocket fire that is daily, and random attacks, just random acts of violence. What you're seeing and feeling, understanding that the rainy season is coming, is that moment that you get to a point of no return where suddenly this becomes a real disaster. If we don't get some help in there pretty quickly, there's an awful lot of people that are going to be in real danger in the next couple of months. You know?
We've seen the U.S. Senate, the Congress for that matter, take action, much faster action when it comes to Libya, which shares a border with Sudan. Mm-hmm. Do you ever feel frustration that you're not seeing that same kind of rapid movement on an issue that you've been caring about for so long?
Well, you always feel frustration because when we were standing there 4 days ago in the middle of the Sudan, what you'd like to see is those Antonovs shot out of the air by a NATO plane, sure, but that's not reality right now. That's not what's going to happen. The UN isn't going to vote that way, and the United States isn't going to make those kind of moves.
But they have the ability to.
But they're not going to do it unilaterally anymore. That's just not going to happen. So what you have to look at is how we can slowly move these chains forward, a little bit at a time.
You brought up in your testimony on Capitol Hill the issue of China and the U.S. Putting pressure on China to take an active role.
We're in a position for the first time where we can go to China and instead of saying, as a government, and instead of saying, you guys got to do the right thing, this is one where China gets 6% of its oil imported from the Sudan, and they turned off the spigot. There is no oil coming. They have a $20 billion investment in infrastructure, oil infrastructure, in that area. And they're getting nothing right now. So this is a moment in time, and it won't last for very long, where the United States and China can work together to mutually benefit them economically.
Does the Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and President Obama need to take a more active role, a leadership role in seeing some of this move forward?
Listen, here's the first thing I would say is, every time President Obama has been involved, particularly during the referendum, it has been incredibly effective, number one. And Secretary Clinton was the person before the referendum, about 110 days before the referendum, who was the one calling what could happen a ticking time bomb. They've been very good on the subject, but they do have a few other things on their table. There's the Arab Spring and the Iran and Syria and all the things that are going on. So our job is to try to refocus when it's most urgent. And right now, it's most urgent.